We are getting ready to hit the road here in just a few short days, and we are getting pretty excited for it. So we're gonna share with you guys all where we're going on this big road trip, but we still have a few projects that we need to wrap up to get this thing ready to start rolling down the road.
So our last video that we just dropped, you guys might have noticed, I wasn't even in it. I was actually on a work trip in France. So lovely Brendan here went ahead and spearheaded some awesome projects while we were gone. What kept you busy?
Yeah, no, it was a little bit stressful working on the RV. Just for a little bit of context, so we took a 6-month road trip in this RV last year and drove about 10,000 miles. But since then, we have been back in Key West for about 7 months, living stationary in this thing. So we've still been very used to it and we know all the ins and outs of the inside, but we wanted to give some extra attention to the outside before getting ready to hit the road again. So one of those things that I did was do a full oil change on this RV. So I went underneath and pulled the plug. Unfortunately, when I did that, I accidentally pulled the plug of the transmission fluid. So I accidentally did a full transmission fluid change as well as an oil change, and then went in and made sure to check all the levels and make sure everything's good. But we try to do this twice a year. I think we plan on doing this like once while we're on the road and then once while we're maybe back in Key West. But it's just nice to prep things before getting ready to leave. The next thing that I did was prepping for our bike to store on the back. So come back here, I'll tell you about that. So last year when we were putting this bike on the back, our rack stuck out a little bit far and it was a little bit low to the ground. But this is gonna be the point of the RV that hits the ground if anything does. So if we go over any dips, if we go off-roading at all, this is gonna hit the ground. So what I did is I actually crawled underneath here and unbolted the underside of the receiver and moved it up by about 3 inches and back by, I think, only like an inch or something. So that's gonna give us, the bike is gonna mount a lot more tight and closely to the RV. It should make us overall a little bit smaller, but also able to kind of handle bumps and valleys and not be bottoming out on the back end. And while we're back here, I also installed this backup camera. It's not a professional looking job, but Gabby's mom actually got us a little wireless CarPlay screen.
She got you one for your birthday.
It was my birthday, so it got this screen, so mounted it here just on the dash. Came with a backup camera, so ran a wire all the way underneath the RV, stuck it to the back, but rear camera.
Ta-da!
So it'll be super nice when we're using this. I don't think we're really gonna use it while we're driving, but all you gotta do is plug that in. And then when we go into a site, it should be a lot easier to park. So I think one of us will still probably get out to help guide the other one, but just really nice to have a backup camera.
Oh, hello! Who likes a backup camera? Whoa. And also on that screen, I think something that's gonna be super, super nice is the ability to now have CarPlay in this old RV.
Oh my God, I'm so excited for CarPlay.
100%, because
just be able to play our music.
Right, because before we just had like a phone holder, which was for our directions, and we just listened to the radio. So now we can actually play whatever music we want to on our own speaker system inside. I think that's gonna be like a huge upgrade.
It's gonna be pretty damn awesome.
And also in the theme of getting things ready, since I've been back, I've actually been doing some stuff, right? So we went through all of our storage doors on the outside. For example, like this is a storage door that we've already gone through and it almost looks empty, but like here's a new camping chair that we got, which we'll show you guys. And then we have our mat there, our yoga mats. And so by clearing out our stuff, we now have like more storage than we know what to do with.
Way more space than we need. And part of that space is actually due to this other thing I didn't point out on the back, this sewage hose carrier. Again, it doesn't look like the most professional install, but just use these hose clamps. And this sewer hose used to take up an entire storage cabinet. So we have cleared this up and put, some of our leveling blocks, some kind of emergency stuff like jacks, and if we were to need to change a tire, put that over on this door here. But just clearing up that space has given us so much more room on the rest of the outside of the RV.
Yeah, we still got Lilo's bed here. Brendan, you wanna show off our new chair. Our old camping chairs, they totally died in the Key West sun, so it's time for some new ones.
We left them outside a little bit much, so we got the same style, but these ones have a little swivel to them, so a little 360 action. We'll see how they are. They're pretty fun. These will just tuck right away in here, and we'll probably put that away when we're ready to take off. And the last thing that I did was up on the roof. So we use Starlink for our primary form of internet. We've been using it while we've been stationary here, but since we redid our roof project, we took everything off the roof and just kind of threw that up temporarily. It was just on the kickstand that it comes with. But last year we found out that it is so awesome to have Starlink as you're driving down the road. So we wanted to get a permanent install. So we actually bought a new mount from Starlink. It was only like $10 for the mount, and it came, it's super quality, but went up to the roof, installed that, made it waterproof, clicked our new panel in, and now it's really gonna be up there for good. This new mount has a little bit of a tilt to it, so it should be a little bit better with aerodynamics and rain running off of it. So very excited to have that small upgrade.
Another thing to note as well, if you're ever considering flat mounting Starlink to your roof, we originally had ours on probably the middle right-hand side of our RV.
Ooh, that's a good point.
And we realized this was not the best location to. We just did it because it was a simple spot to do so, and it wasn't gonna be a long cord running from our RV vent. But we ran into these people, I think while we were at Yellowstone, and we talked to them about their Starlink. And he said that he found that a majority of RV sites that he ever camped at, if there was a clear section, 9 times out of 10, it was in the very front of his RV.
I feel like when that guy told us that, then we started to go around to these sites and we're like, man,
He's right.
He was so right. And it makes sense because as you're clearing out room to make a campsite in, you got to clear out the road to go into the site, and then the back of it's usually covered with trees.
Cool. And something else I suppose to note in our storage, this front storage cubby here, I don't think we really have a name for it, but I can just call it like our adventure bin.
What is like, Gary?
It's like all sort of like fun stuff, I guess. Like this bin has all of our like trail running vests and whatnot. And we do have a new edition of a toy that we're bringing with us this year that we will show you once we go inside because it is so big. We found that it will only fit in our shower. And before we go inside, I will also shout out that all of the seams on the RV, this guy sealed them all up while it's gone as well.
Don't point out the bad seams. I try to do the best job I can.
What is that? What is that?
It looked pretty bad to begin with, so I would say it's an improvement from before.
My goodness. You're waiting at every corner, aren't you? Okay, before we keep talking, I think it's coffee time.
What's on your arm there?
Yeah, so I suppose speaking of hitting the road early, I don't just walk around with the bandage on my arm all the time. I got my physical exam. So my mom said it would be a responsible thing to do, so I just got my blood test today. I mean, there's so many things that you can prep before, because our plan's really to be on the road for 5 months, and there's so much that you can plan before hitting the road, like for your actual rig itself, but it's important to like keep in mind like taking care of yourself, just kind of checking off whatever boxes you can of being a responsible adult. So I would say that kind of falls in that bucket. Yeah, you want to tell them where we're going?
All right, I think it's time.
My God.
I think it's time for the big reveal.
We're kind of matching.
Yeah, we are. How
We
cute.
tend to do
How
that.
cute.
Do we tend to do that too often?
I think it's time to reveal where we're gonna be going, because like I said, we've been in Key West for about 7 months now, which when I added up this morning, I was like, wow, that's kind of a long time.
It's been a great time though. I mean, we bought a boat in our time being here that I feel like we've had so much fun on, so many good experiences, reconnecting with friends. Like, it's always a bit bittersweet because like, yeah, Key West is my hometown. Really our home base, I would say. So like we have such a great time staying here, and we get so excited to leave at the adventure we'll experience, but you know, saying some see you laters to people as well in the process.
Yeah, it has been a really nice time here. I do feel like the boat has made it so much more enjoyable than last year when we were here.
For sure.
Just to be able to get out on the water and stuff like that has been really nice to enjoy.
Oh my God, that coffee's so hot.
But as we let this coffee cool down, yeah, let's talk about where we're going. So last year, just as a recap, so we did a big West Coast trip. So we drove north to Michigan, and then we drove out to like a big national park area. So we did like Yellowstone, Grand Tetons, drove up to Glacier, then over to Washington to like Mount Rainier. Super, super cool spots, like really majestic. Then we drove down the California coast and did like a big circle around, I would say, the west coast of the US. So this year, we're gonna be changing that up a little.
Yes, so we were on the West Coast. This
What's
year,
the other side?
we will be on the East Coast. It's gonna be super interesting. So yeah, pretty much we're talking about doing an East Coast loop. So we'll head north from Key West, work our way up to Detroit. No coincidence in Detroit. That is where Brendan's family is from.
We gotta stop there.
Yes, and we think we're gonna be cutting through Canada, and we will definitely be making a stop in Hershey, Pennsylvania for, I would say, really no other reason than the RV show. It's not a place I'm like dying to go to, but we are stoked to be able to be going to that RV show. We'll be getting a media pass, so that way we can show you guys all of the newest and latest releases of RV tech that year. So, I mean, on a personal interest level, I'm like very excited for that. I mean, definitely here for the nature, but that will be a fun aspect.
We like going to RV dealers, but a show is, I feel like, next level where we'll just get to see all the new stuff and see what's going on in the space.
Yeah, and then from there, we'll be planning to head north up into Maine. Definitely want to hit Acadia National Park. And then we'll work our way down the East Coast till we wind up back here in Key West.
I think we want to be up in the Northeast for around the fall time to see like the leaves starting to change and a bit of cooler weather. Because that's definitely a part of this too, is because right now it's mid-June in Key West, and we're kind of dying to get to some cooler weather.
I know, it's over feels like 100 just about every day. I'm so happy that we have the chill cube to keep us nice and icy, because otherwise, I mean, man, it is so hot. We are definitely ready for cooler weather. But yeah, pretty much we'll work our way back down to Key West, and we anticipate this loop taking us 5 months on the road.
Yeah, just about.
We'd like to be back here for holiday time to spend with our family. I suppose there's some Easter eggs of items that we're going to want to share with you guys along this route. Especially in Detroit, we are going to be doing a collab with a very cool RV company that you guys will have to stick around to find out who, but we are so excited for that.
Most of them are in Indiana, so.
Right, I feel like people are like, who's in Detroit that I haven't heard of? Also, along the routes, I mean, clearly there's still a lot of stuff that we have to figure out, but something that we are very excited for this year is that it's gonna be the first time that we're ever trying out Harvest Hosts. We just bought the subscription, and we bought the highest tier one that includes, I guess, Boondockers Welcome, golf courses, and stuff like that. So we already booked like, I think 4 different Harvest Host locations for like the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So we're super excited to see how that goes.
We're pretty eager to use it right now. I don't know that we'll continue to use it that much. But speaking of that, we went over all this big trip that we have planned. We really don't have a lot planned yet. We have like the next 2 weeks or so, like itinerary.
We have ideas.
Aside from that, you know, we have the general areas of what we want to go. But if you guys have any recommendations of things that we should for sure hit along that general route, make sure to let us know.
Absolutely. Put those in the comment section down below. And I know some things that we do want to do though. For one, the behemoth that we have in our shower, I will show you guys in a second, but that is gonna lead us to chase whatever water that we can find. And then 2, we definitely wanna get more into climbing this year. So we are definitely gonna be doing a guided climb in Chattanooga. We're considering doing one in Red River Gorge in Kentucky. And then there's also guided climbs in Acadia National Park, which I think that sounds incredible.
We haven't taken the plunge yet, but we really want to get our own climbing gear. We did like one big climbing trip last year in South Dakota, and that was so cool.
Absolutely.
And we were like obsessed with it for a bit, but it just wasn't the right timing to get our equipment. And as we were on the RV trip, it wasn't a priority. But now I think we want to get our stuff and get more into it.
100%, and it's baby steps with everything. You want to make sure you're safe at whatever you're doing, right? So we just kind of want more exposure, and also being specifically in Key West, Florida, there's no climbing gyms. There's like nowhere to practice.
That's the other tough thing.
So it's like something that we can really only take advantage of while we're on the road. All right, let me steal you guys really quick. Oh, you're coming too? You coming?
I want to come. I want to see.
You want to come? All right, let me show you what we have in our shower. We got the inspo of using our shower as storage. Oh, look, there's another one of these. From our RV tour video that everyone said we should put our hamper in our shower. We're actually kind of chill with our hamper being by our dinette. So, whoa, it's so big. Guys, we have partnered up with Boats, which if you're not familiar, they make incredibly high quality inflatables for paddleboards, kayaks. They have like inflatable little like docks, chairs. They're such a fun company, so we are so stoked to be able to use one of their products for this RV trip. And specifically, this is the Aero Zeppelin. So it's essentially an inflatable 2-seater kayak. And we're thinking,
make it a 3-seater.
We're gonna be able to fit this one in there as well. For that reason, we definitely want to be chasing some water along our routes. So once we leave Key West, actually one of our first stops we anticipate is going to be Ocala, Florida. And we want to check out Silver Springs, Florida. So that way we can take this kayak into some springs. I think it'll be such a gorgeous and beautiful time. So totally something to look forward to. And if you guys haven't checked out Boats, highly would recommend. Keep in mind how much storage you have in your RV, because we, Jimmy rigged this to fit in our place. We actually wanted a different unit. We originally wanted a tandem paddleboard product that they made because it was
called like Lowrider or something like that.
I think it was the Aero Lowrider because it was much more compact, but clearly what we thought was a good idea, everyone else thought so as well, because they did not have it available until the end of summer season. So we said, let's take a stab at the kayak and see how this works out for our setup.
I was so confident it was going to fit in one of our exterior storage doors. I moved so much around, and this is while Gabby was gone. So got this big box in the mail, and we're like, okay, we got to fit it somewhere. Yeah, it didn't fit in any of our exterior storage, so the shower is where it's going to live. Okay, well that is our rough plan to get this trip going. I don't know if it's coming through on camera, but I am really excited for this trip. It has been a long time coming. We've done all these projects, and it's just nice to see your projects kind of pay off.
I would say overall, like I just feel very proud of the work that we've done. Like it's very cool that the RV this time around on this trip is, I would say, just overall like a nicer looking RV, like painting all of the decals, doing like our front end facelift, new grill, new lights. The solar on the roof looks sweet from the sides, I feel.
It looks cool. I hope it works well too.
So yeah, like I'm very excited to kind of put all of the effort that we've done like into practice, I suppose.
So it'll be really interesting to see how Starlink performance in the East Coast states compares to what was last year, because being out west, a lot of boondocking, a lot of open skies. Now we're going to try to be at a lot more campgrounds because boondocking is not really as available in the East Coast.
Yes, we're both full-time remote workers, so Wi-Fi is immensely important for our jobs.
So we're going to see how that goes. We've got a couple days of work left, a couple things to wrap up project-wise, and we'll see what this journey has in store for us.
So with that being said, from here, I guess we'll catch you guys next week in Ocala at our first Harvest Host location. See you guys next week. All the time, unfortunately. Jesus, Brendan.
Sorry, I'm trying to get ready for my work
Shove
call.
me with your butt. Yeah, we still got Lilo's bed here. Brendan, you want to show off our new chair?
Demonstrate.
No.